I didn't do anything yet, so please don't applaud. Have we been enjoying the convention, GeekGirlCon? We're ready to close it out in style. I can't promise that's going to happen, but I'll do my best. I have a little intro song. Comedy time, come on, grab your friends. We go to very funny lands with Valerie and Bruno the ukulele. The laughs will never end, it's comedy time. Yeah, that's my intro song. Hi, my name is Valerie. I do geeky comedy all over Seattle, and now I'm doing it at a convention, which is really, really cool. It's so lovely to see you all. Yeah, I'm going to sing a couple of songs, and then we have a panel of people who will come and do some comedy too. So my first song is basically inspired by the fact that I colored my hair 5 different ways during the course of a year. And I was realizing that I really leaned into my manic pixie dream girl phase, and I wrote a song about that. So here we go. My awkwardness is adorable, my clumsiness is cute. I play a quirky instrument like a ukulele or a lute. I will teach you how to love indie rock. If you still don't think I'm quirky, just take a look at my socks. I know you can't see them right now, but they don't match. I don't understand why everyone loves kale. What? You can recognize me by my bushy fuchsia tail. I am nothing more than I seem. I'm a manic pixie dream. 1 second. This is going excellent. Okay, we'll get there. They will just hang floppily off my face. Manic pixie dream. Squirrel. I ironically have a nut allergy. When a dog barks too loud, I run straight up a tree. When winter's close, I will bury all my food. That's weird. And I'm kind of furry, so I'm never really nude. Okay. I don't understand why everyone loves kale. You can recognize me by my bushy purple tail. I am nothing more than I seem. I'm a manic pixie dream. Squirrel. At this point of the song, I would play a kazoo solo, but kazoo solos are weird, so maybe I'll skip through that and just sing the chorus again. I'm a manic pixie dream. Squirrel. Thank you for bearing with this ear trouble. I lost my other ears, so I had to buy some new ones. And my hair doesn't do clips very well because I shaved half of it off. Cool, you can go here. I have one more song before I hand it off to some other people. Cool. And this song is a little love song that I wrote because I really like science. So if it gives you flashbacks to high school chemistry, I apologize for that. When we snuggle real close together, it's as if we are one. Just like 2 atoms fusing. Didn't know chemistry could be so fun. I'd say we're quite radical, and I don't mean that we're cool. More like we have electrons to share. Come on, let's form a molecule. You and me, we have chemistry. Come with me, so we can bond covalently. I'll be the hydrogen to your chlorine, or the nitrogen to your nitrogen if we want a super strong triple bond. I'll be the carbon to your oxygen. I want to form an orbital with you, don't care if it's sigma or pi. Now I made myself hungry, want to go eat some actual pie. You and me, We have chemistry. Come with me so we can bond covalently. You say you're out of phase, except when you're with me. Well, I've never felt more in phase. This must be valency. You and me, we have chemistry. Come with me so we can bond covalently. Thank you very much. I lied about the kazoos. Well, I would like to introduce you to a very good friend of mine. She's a very funny comedian and a really good teacher, and we've been friends for a couple of years and doing geeky comedy together. So please give a warm welcome to Theresa Flores.
Thanks very much, Valerie. I do gotta say, I was a little bit hesitant when Valerie asked me to do a show called The Real Nerds of Comedy, because I don't really consider myself a real anything. Like many women in STEM, I've dealt with imposter syndrome for most of my adult life, to the extent that when one of my students asked me for strategies for the problem she was working on, I showed her the several that I knew, and then thought, nah, I better Google this to see what the experts say, only to find that they all said exactly what I had just told her. And then I had the absolutely terrifying realization that I've been doing this for well over a decade, and apparently I am an expert now. And so I can know all this on paper, but I still don't feel very confident, because I think an expert educator should be motivational and inspirational and life-changing. And when one of my students reaches into his backpack and declares, "I thought I had a calculator in here, but it turns out I only have cheeseburgers," I don't exactly feel like I'm any of those things. I do get some positive feedback. The best compliment I've gotten in my entire life was when one of my students told me, "Thank you, Theresa, so much for making physics actually make sense." But the joke is on her, because it actually doesn't. I do not know why we've adopted the phrases obeying or defying the laws of physics as shorthand for what is and isn't reasonable. Because you know what obeys the laws of physics? Measuring the velocity of something so accurately that its position could be anywhere in the universe. Or an electron doing two mutually exclusive things at the same time until you look at it. Or a 20-foot-long ladder fitting entirely enclosed within a 15-foot-long barn. What I'm saying is that the laws of physics are bogus. I majored in physics in college because I liked physics in high school, and that turned out to be the biggest bait and switch of all time. Devoting your life to something simply because you liked it as a teenager is a colossal mistake. And this is speaking as someone who is currently engaged to her homecoming date from 2002. We've been engaged for about 2 years now, and we're still in the planning stages. The only thing I really know I want at the wedding is that instead of a bouquet toss, I'm just gonna hurl a D20 at my friends, and whoever it hits has to DM next. I wasn't actually a gamer as a kid. I did get more into it as an adult, though, and I really should have gotten into it sooner, because D&D combines some of my favorite things. Storytelling, calculating probabilities, and working through emotional dysregulation under the guise of social interaction. My very first character, her backstory was that she had failed at absolutely everything that was important to her, so she fled in search of adventure to distract herself from this fact. And I also call this my late 20s to early 30s. She was a homebrew class, but she played kind of like a wizard. My next character was a cleric, and when I was developing her, I asked my friends on Facebook what D&D class vibes they thought that I personally gave off. And everybody who met me before I turned 25 said wizard, and everybody who met me after that said cleric. And I do think I know why. Because wizards are child prodigies who grow up to be adult geniuses. Now, at the age of 25, I was far too old to be a prodigy and not nearly smart enough to be a genius. So my choices were to become a jerk, warlock, or a helper, cleric. Classes like a rogue or fighter I didn't even consider. I'm way too clumsy for either of those. Like, I once spilled a bottle of pH indicator solution, forgot about it, and then sat in the puddle. And this sucked, but at least I could scientifically confirm that my backside was not basic. So yeah, in real life, I'm a cleric, and those tendencies led me to my current career as a science and math tutor. And while I do love it, it's not really where I thought I would be at this point in my life. I have changed careers completely 3 or 4 times since graduating college, to say nothing of the number of times I changed jobs within those careers. I have applied for the same position 4 times, and I've never gotten it. And while I know the saying goes that doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insanity, I have a degree in physics from MIT that forces me to acknowledge the fact that it is also quantum mechanics. And I totally get that the gifted kid turned dysfunctional adult really plays heavily into some Asian stereotypes. And I haven't gone out of my way to embody stereotypes, but I also will not fight the ones that do happen to be true for me. So I do love karaoke and Dance Dance Revolution. I can name 6 boba tea places within walking distance of my work. And I will buy absolutely anything if you put Hello Kitty on it. And Hello Kitty is on absolutely everything. There's Hello Kitty wine. And I don't agree with that. I don't think that's right. I don't think Hello Kitty should be associated with drinking alcohol. Not because she's a cartoon icon beloved by millions of children all over the world, but because she does not have a mouth. So while it is obvious that I'm very, very Asian, it's not really obvious what type of Asian I am. Now, some people will not guess, like the makeup salesperson who advised me to buy blue eyeliner instead of black eyeliner because I already looked exotic. Yeah. But some people will try to make a specific guess. I get Chinese, Japanese, Korean all over the place. And I was relating this to someone once, and he stopped me in the middle and said, no, Theresa. You're obviously Filipino. Awesome. One guy finally gets it. But he continued. Theresa, obviously you're Filipino. Filipinos have a higher body fat percentage than other Asians. So coming to terms with how I look has been, and like deciding how I want to present myself, have been a big part for me of embracing becoming a nerd. I've worn horn-rimmed glasses like these for about 15 years or so. And they're the kind of glasses I actually wanted when I started wearing glasses like over 20 years ago. But my parents said no, citing the fact that they made me look like a nerd. Mom, Dad, I'm in math club. I play the violin. I went to debate camp. I have some news for you. They would be a little bit horrified to learn that one of my partner's coworkers, the first thing he ever said to me upon meeting me was, I can tell that you are a proud nerd. Like I said, I've embraced it. I had to because I can't look like anything else. I have tried. I could not look put together or professional or cool, and that is primarily because that clothing does not fit me. Pant hebs dragged on the ground. Dresses were way too tight around the stomach and way too loose around the chest. Sleeves would hang past the edges of my fingertips, or as I'm doing now, get really stretched out from being pushed up past my elbows. And then I discovered it, the children's department. So now my clothing actually fits, but the trade-off is that glittery science-themed t-shirts and dinosaur print button-downs aren't exactly the height of sophistication. So between my stature and my wardrobe, people do tend to assume that I'm much, much younger than I actually am. And that is okay most of the time, unless you're shopping with your fiance and you get separated from him, and the salesperson you had been talking to earlier sees you looking for him, and they come up to you, and their first instinct is to ask you if you are looking for not your husband, not your boyfriend, but your brother. And this makes zero sense, as my fiance and I do not look a thing alike. I mean, I guess we are both Asian, but we're not even the same kind of Asian. It's really obvious he has a much lower body fat percentage than I do. That is what I've got for you all this evening. Thank you so much. My name is Theresa Flores.
Keep it going for Theresa. Follow Theresa on the social media. You get to see a lot of like whiteboards, so you can like get all nostalgic for tutoring times, or if you're still in high school, just not nostalgic, whatever being in the moment is called. I'm not sure. Yeah, so next up we have another good friend of mine. These are all friends of mine, you're going to notice, who performs all around Seattle. I don't know what else to say about her. She's pretty funny, which is why she's here. Give it up for Jenna Knobs.
Hi, I'm Jenna. Cool. Okay. For my next bit, I'll walk into the sea. That's fine. No, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you all for coming. Does anybody here have like jobs? Okay. Just trying to be relatable. I have a job. Yeah. For my job, I'm a school librarian. Please, I prefer silence. Thank you. I know that contradicts the earlier joke. I don't care. Yeah, obviously I am a cat person. We have any of those here today? Okay, I saw like a few polite hands. That is the correct cat person response. Well done. The rest of you dog people, liars. No. Yeah, I do realize like stand-up comedy, it's not a particularly cat person thing to do, right? The only reason I'm here tonight is if I finish this set, I get a treat. Yeah. I get half a thyroid pill wrapped in cheese. I cannot wait. Okay, a lot of us buying levothyroxine for our cats. That's cool. That's actually the people medicine. The cats are on something else. I'm not a doctor. Cool. I did recently adopt 3 senior cats. Thank you. Yes, I am a hero. Originally, I just wanted 1 cat. That's like way easier to manage. But the shelter, they told me these 3 cats had to stay together. Yeah, because they all share one eyeball, like the fates. Most people look at their cats like, will you eat me when I die? And I look at mine like, when will I die? I know, you know. It's pretty scary, actually. Aside from the cat stuff, I do consider myself to be like a pretty edgy countercultural librarian. Not the joke. I heard some chuckles, but okay. Yeah, I do consider myself to be a pretty edgy librarian because I don't read. Cheers for not reading. That's wild. I know that's probably pretty confusing. Like, how can you be a good librarian if you don't read? Simple answer, I've seen every episode of Wishbone. We have any boneheads here tonight? Very cool. That rules, yeah. If you're not familiar, Wishbone is this like PBS kids show from the 90s. Okay, where a dog acts out classic literature. I claim to have read at parties. It's very fun. Yeah, because of Wishbone, I'm able to say things like, actually, Frankenstein wasn't the monster. Yeah. He's the Jack Russell Terrier who tried to play God. Educate yourself. Yeah, I think it's pretty brave of me to say that I don't read at the nerd-themed comedy show, so just pretty proud of myself. Cool, yeah, great. I think that's all my librarian material. I like this next premise because people don't really like to bring it up in stand-up comedy ever. Dating is weird. Yeah, that's just an original thought I had. I did recently break up with my 3rd consecutive musician this calendar year. Thank you so much. Yeah, the best way I can describe the experience of dating 3 musicians in a row is I am now willing to date a comedian. Yeah. If you laughed, you know. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. That's so insane. Truly wild, yeah. You know, so like I'm back on the apps or whatever, and there's just like a few different tropes of guys that I continue encountering over and over. And the one trope that I have the biggest beef with is the NPR bro. Are we familiar with this guy? Maybe some of us are here tonight. Okay, so the NPR bro is someone who on their dating profile, they will select the prompt, what is your best celebrity impression? And they answer that with Ira Glass. Okay, this is real. I've seen it multiple times. Just like the only thing worse than a man having a podcast is a man doing impressions of a podcast. That's not right. Makes me sick. Just no impression should have ad breaks, right? What are we doing? Okay, I have another tag for that, but I feel like we're not into the NPR stuff. I'm going to do it anyway. Listen, if an NPR bro asks you to be friends with benefits, okay, you got to clarify the benefits. That's so important. Right? So he's like, do you want to be friends with benefits? You got to be like, okay, do you mean benefits or access to bonus episodes? Because I don't want that. Okay, we love This American Life in the front. That's really cool for you. No, but the apps can be fun. Like recently I matched with this guy on Hinge who had the best opening line I've ever heard. I'll share it with you all here. I matched with a guy on Hinge whose opening line was DC or Marvel. Yeah. I was like, oh, I don't watch anime. He did report me. I am banned from the app. On to Bumble, I guess. What are you going to do? They do say in stand-up comedy that you should leave your best material for last. And so that is why my closer is 2 minutes of puns that I wrote for a pun competition I did not win. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. So the category of my puns is celebrity fish. Okay, celebrity fish. Before I get into it, I do want to clarify, like not all of the celebrity fish I reference here are A-list celebrities. Okay. In fact, many of them are below sea level. Yeah. That was the smartest one, so. Okay. Yeah, growing up, I had a pet fish named Lance Sea Bass. Obviously, Lance wasn't a sea bass, right? That's silly. He's in a koi band. I did not have Lance for very long. One day, I brought his tank in the kitchen to clean it, and I accidentally dropped him in sink. Very sad. A fish's favorite sitcom is The Cosby Show. And a female fish's natural predator is Gil Cosby. All right, we'll do a lighter one. Okay, a fish's favorite rapper, Swim Shady. Yeah. But if someone claims to be the real Swim Shady online, don't believe them. Probably a catfish. Okay, stick with me here. All right. Osama bin Laden. Okay. I do understand, right? People think of Osama bin Laden, they're like, not a celebrity. Common misconception. Yeah. Osama bin Laden actually wrote, starred in, and directed Ocean's 9/11. A huge hit, you know? Back-to-back hits if we want to be technical, yeah? Incredible film. It'll just knock your shoes off at the airport. It's wild. Sorry, I just got a little sidetracked with the 9/11 stuff. I remember the topic. I did not mean to hijack my own topic here, but Listen, I respect that when most Americans look at Osama bin Laden, they do not see a celebrity. They see an enemy. And I do hope that is a pun you will never forget. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. That has been my time.
Keep it going for Jenna. I can't believe you didn't win that pun slam. But you will get a treat later. It's fine. Okay, next up we have another friend of mine, and told you so. She will be in a show this Thursday called Flock, which is all queer and POC centered, which is an amazing show. So I highly recommend going out to that. Has amazing comedians that I know a couple of because they're great. Anyway, please give it up for Rohini.
Keep it going for Valerie and Jenna. Are you excited to be at the GeekGirlCon? Hell yeah. This is my first GeekGirlCon. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Rohini Jayanti. I am a gay immigrant that works in tech. I am like if all parts of Seattle became one person. I am the pinnacle of intersectionality. I already consider myself a geek in every way, and then finding out that I was gay made me feel like a super geek. I want to start off with a few silly jokes here. Being invited to perform at GeekGirlCon made me think, geeks, because this show is called The Real Nerds of Comedy that's happening at GeekGirlCon. So what is the difference between geeks and nerds? Anyone know? Geeks have better marketing. Because for some reason they're cool and nerds are not. Like, why? That's just bigotry, I think. Next zinger. Coming right up. Earth-shattering. Why don't zombies have any friends? Because they make bad conversationalists. I see some zombies here right now. That is fine. This next joke, also a zinger, I promise, is not xenophobic. I promise you. It's really silly. It's for kids. You know the diaries that you write in, like this one? If there was a place that sold diaries, what would it be called in Spanish? Do you know where I'm going with that? Diarrhea. I am learning Spanish right now, and I know that the suffix is usually like taqueria, carniceria, so I just wrote a dumb joke. I am not xenophobic. I'm married to a Mexican, I promise. That was a silly joke. I am not making 9/11 jokes at least, come on. Sorry, Jenna. Sorry to hijack your joke for my... So yeah, the terrible jokes are done. Let's move on to my set. Like I said, I'm an immigrant and I moved here 10 years ago. If you notice, I have a subtle accent, maybe not so subtle. I had to learn a lot of things, coming into US, like the primary one being how to speak like an American. Like, a lot of immigrants go through this, and don't get me wrong, I'm excellent at English. I was one of the NPR bro types that Jenna used to date. I use words like fidelity and scruples on an NPR podcast. I've actually been on NPR and I did use those words. So I am excellent at English, thanks to the British Empire. But like I said, not xenophobic, but but it's kind of hard to speak like you guys. You say things like that you don't mean, like Netflix and chill. You don't want to chill, and you definitely don't want to Netflix. So what I did to make my life easier was to make an Excel spreadsheet. Ayo. Where the spreadsheet nerds at? Raise your hands. Are you Microsoft employees here? Like, you get it? I used to work at Microsoft, and I knew like 100 shortcuts by hand. That was the sexiest I ever felt in my life, I swear to God. I could like turn a CSV into a text file, into a website. I just felt like I could do anything. You know what I mean? So I have a spreadsheet, and I use it whenever I go out. For example, I have Jewish friends, and whenever they do something nice, I don't know why I said that, whenever they do something nice, I look at them and I say, that is so Christian of you. Bless your heart. Or sometimes, very rarely, my manager sets an early morning meeting and he says, yeah, this is really urgent. I say, what's up? And he says, Rohini, congratulations, you've just been promoted. And I look at my spreadsheet and I say, yes, queen, that's what's up. Or when I'm late for a movie night with my friends and they call me and they're very pissed off. They're like, where are you? We've been waiting for an hour. And I don't know where I'm at because I'm lost and I'm trying to tell them. And I look at my spreadsheet and I say, I would like to acknowledge that I'm on Duwamish land right now. Yeah, another thing that immigrant Asian families really insist on is a strong foundation in STEM, in science, maths, engineering, you know. So my parents really wanted to make sure that I was very confident in science and maths. And the way it helped me many times in my life. I was new to US. There was a lot of like cultural barriers. I didn't know how people courted, how you guys dated. I was new to all of that. Faced a lot of rejection, you know, like it happens to lesbians. Trust me, it happens to us, not just straight guys. And I was ready to give up. But my friend, Omar, he's from Bangladesh, he said, you know, just believe in the law of large numbers. Even if you have a 0.1% chance, you will find the right person if you date 1,000 people. That's all it takes, 1,000 people. So I did a speed run of New York, then I did a speed run of Seattle. I dated, and boy, did I date. In an effort to be efficient, one time I called 5 of them to a dance club. And I introduced them to each other, and I'm like, now I can learn from your reactions of each other. And the next day, I got ghosted by all 5 of them. People don't really like science in this country. That's what I learned. That's why y'all suck at math. That's fine. Yeah, so the immigrant stuff is done. Moving on to the gay stuff. After, I did my speed runs. Eventually, I found the person that I really liked. And I, this year, celebrated 4 years of my marriage anniversary. Thank you. Thank you, yeah. I'm Indian and she's Mexican, and we believe that our one true God is chili spice. Jesus who? I don't know. Secretly, when no one's watching, we get into competitions with each other to test who has the higher spice tolerance. So she makes something with 3 spices, and then I make something with 5. And then she makes something with 10, and then I take a flight, go to my village, get some exotic spice, come back, make a dish with 10. And then she doesn't know what to do, so she just does a line of chili powder. Sorry, kids, if you're here, don't try that. Do not try that, ever. And I don't know what to do. I take her to the emergency room after that. That's usually how it goes. When we were marrying each other, our families didn't know about the other side. So my mom didn't know what Vanessa, my partner's personality is like, what her parents are like. So she didn't know if they, liked spice. So she brought 10 jars of spice. And her family didn't know what my family was like. So they also brought 10 jars of spice. And when they met each other at the wedding, when both of our moms met each other, they went like the Spider-Man meme. Like. And apparently that was all the approval this marriage needed. We just glazed over the whole gay thing and never spoke about that again. Yeah, how am I doing on time, by the way? 2 minutes? Okay. So I did the immigrant stuff, I did the gay stuff, I'll do the tech stuff. I have some news to share with you guys. I recently quit my toxic job. Real supportive audience here. Yeah. You wanna guess what I did next? I got another job, another toxic job. Gotta pay the bills, you know? But yeah, I put my STEM education to use, and now I work at Netflix as a machine learning scientist. Feel like I really went to the pinnacle of STEM. Not a physicist, but maybe. I'm really psyched. Yeah, first, I was really excited, but then the writer strike started happening, and then the account sharing crackdown started happening. And then one day, my coworker asked my manager, "Hey, are we the baddies?" Yes, we are. 100%. That's why we get paid the big bucks. You guys don't seem too thrilled about Netflix. That's fine. Do you watch a lot of like Disney Plus here? Yeah? A lot of like Marvel heads? Yeah? Sorry, you don't watch anime. That's fine. Do you watch like ESPN, more like college football or sports? Hell no. Your face is just like, no, definitely not. No. Okay, last question. Not really ESPN, some like Disney Plus. What do you feel about like YouTube? Do you guys watch a lot of YouTube? Oh, overwhelming. Across the board, all ages, just like love YouTube. All right, well, thanks for participating in this unpaid survey. That's what I came here for. I'll leave you with this. My life was going amazing. Everything's fantastic. I am like eating all the spices I want and everything, working Netflix. My ex texted me out of nowhere and asked me to get back with her, and I almost considered it because she left such a powerful message. Wow, living proof of the Seattle freeze. Yeah, her real selling point was she asked me if I wanted to invest in Bitcoin mining. She said I could double my money, and I said, hell yeah, I'll come back to you. All right, thank you, that's my time.
Going for Rohini. Definitely a super villain in the making, I think, there. You can see Rohini on Thursday, like I said, in the show Flock, which is on Capitol Hill. Next up, we have another friend of mine, obviously. I'm really excited to introduce him. Give it up for Sally Jordan.
We're all friends here. It's great. I used to be smart. So I feel I have a degree. I have a degree in biological anthropology. Oh wow, thank you. I wasn't expecting that. My focus when I was in school was on skeletal and dental bioarchaeology, and so naturally I graduated, and then I started playing video games on the internet for money. It's just a great transition. But I have a grown-up job now. Really, I work in human resources. I feel like HR is demonized a lot, and I understand, like The Office is like the most popular show of all time for some reason. I get it, but I can say as someone that works in HR, like a lot of people in HR, we're not in it because we're only there to advocate for the boss or whatever. I know I work in HR because I care about advocating for, like people in offices, people that can't unionize. Also, I just want to know everyone's business. I want to know everything. I want to know all of your stuff. And I'm not going to tell people. I just really want to know. Because that's the thing, like, I I did the thing. You know, I grew up playing a lot of video games, and I kind of made a living out of that for a while. But I also grew up watching Teen Mom, Teen Mom OG, Teen Mom 2, 90 Day Fiance, Catfish. Like, I want to know everyone's business. So HR is great for that. Also, I care or whatever. I don't know, but not judging. I just really want to know. It's great. I turned 30 this year. It's great. Thank you. Bioanthropology got a bigger applause than that. 30th and humans evolved beyond that or something. I don't know. Say I used to be smart. It hasn't stuck with me. The 30's been great. I was diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea this year. It's a really like interesting amount of like woos for varying things. Yeah, and the sleep apnea it's very common, but it's not to be trifled with. The diagnosis process was interesting. I went to a sleep doctor, and one of the many things, like she had to take like a bunch of like measurements of my head, my mouth, my jaw, stuff like that. And I was clinically diagnosed with having a very small mouth and a very large tongue. I know. So, you know what they say about women with small mouths and large tongues. Dead from hypoxia at age 30. It's not a laughing matter. I wasn't like, I don't know, it was kind of interesting to find that out about myself and my own anatomy when I learned this from my neurologist, my sleep doctor. Told her like, oh, actually, you know, I spent pretty much like a good 10 years of my life in speech therapy because I had a really, really horrible lisp growing up. And, you know, like that, you know, that makes sense. Like my tongue was too large getting in the way and caused all these problems. And I went on this whole spiel about like how hard I worked on getting rid of my lisp. And she was like, oh, no, I know you have a lisp. So I guess, okay. Speech therapy didn't work. That's fine. But yeah, now I have a really cool CPAP machine. CPAPs are kind of at like a weird point in time. They're not like these crazy, you know, like full head covering sort of mask situation. But they also aren't just like cool, like still suit, like Fremen kind of things. They're at like a weird in between point. They're still, you know, big enough, like the box is big enough where you have to have like a travel case for it. And there's like an old like internet joke where it's like, oh, if you're like hooking up with a girl and her like underpants match or something, then that means that it was her plan to hook up in the first place, which is, you know, a valid point, I guess. But for sleep apnea, it's like, oh, if they brought their CPAP with them, then that means it was their choice in the first place. So another like a strange thing about sleep apnea too is that like you can't know that you have it on your own necessarily. You generally need like a partner, you know, sleeping in bed with you to say like, hey, you become a gargoyle at night or what have you. So you can have it for a really long time and not realize, just like sleeping on your own. So that's just a sad thing I wanted to leave with. That's still working on the joke part of that. hey, get it checked out, you know? Again, CPAPs. They're almost cool. That's why. Recently, I decided to pick up a new hobby. I have had a lot of trouble sort of recalibrating to like socializing post peak pandemic. I feel like a lot of people have as well. So I feel like a really good way to get myself back out there in general. I picked up street harassment. So it's a great way to make friends. But I've decided to put my own like spin on it. So instead of the classic like, oh, hey, gorgeous, or whatever one might yell, I've decided to just start yelling lyrics from the cha-cha slide at people on the street. So if you're ever like walking around downtown Seattle, someone shouts, "One hop this time." Slide to the left. Freeze. It's probably just me. I'm just trying to say hi. Just want to make some pals. It's the last night of GeekGirlCon. I hope everyone's had a good convention weekend. Yeah, good stuff. In the spirit of GeekGirlCon, I'd like to tell some jokes about my personal favorite IP of sorts. Any Battlestar Galactica fans? So say we all. Thank you. So I'm just going to talk directly to you, apparently, for these ones. Have you heard the one about the bride and groom? So it turns out that the groom was a traitor to the human race, and the bride was left at the Baltar. You get like Gaius, Baltar. See? We're having a moment, actually, so it's between us. Oh my gosh, okay. Friendship. See, this is how it works. Why was the Cylon late for the party? He had a real bad case of red eye. No, the Silent Centurions and Ronald D. Moores also have the red wah-wahs too. So, also you made me step over. That's not only my closer, that's my magnum opus. So, anyway, thank you all so much for coming out tonight. Let's bring Valerie back up. Everyone's had a great.
Thank you for going for Sally. Wow, let's give a round of applause for everyone on the panel today. Sally, Rohini, Theresa, Jenna, coming out on a Sunday evening just because I wanted to come sing some songs and didn't want to do that all alone. Actually, speaking of, do you all want to sing along with me for a song? Yeah? Okay, it's a very easy chorus. I'll sing it first so that you get it in your ears, and then every time the chorus comes along, you can sing along, because that's how songs are made. So the chorus goes, dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. I see you all know it already, so yeah, whenever you hear that, just come on in. This is a song about working in a lab and being very clumsy. So I wrote a song so that I could do that as my day job, which is what I do actually. Shine a laser in your eye. Eat a piece of bacterial contaminated pie. Stick your hand in a supersonic bath. Your head explodes from doing too much math. Here you go. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. You guys sound amazing. This is fun. Trip over an electrical cord, accidentally opening a toxic lab door, switch your drinking water for some chemicals, use that laser light to shave your balls. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die. Stick your hand in a Bunsen burner flame. Think doing geeky comedies your ticket to fame. Expose your skin to UV light. Try telling your supervisor you think they're not right. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. One more chorus just to close out the whole night. Close out the con. What do you think? Ready? Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. You're amazing. I hope you enjoyed the con. I hope you have a great rest of October. Spooky-tober. It's always great. And that's it. Thank you so much.